Hello, adventurers, and welcome back to the Legend of Kelamentura recap series. This time, this is not an omnibus. You've already had one of those, and hopefully, you won't get another one of those until I decide to. Well, maybe I'll do one every couple of months or so as a kind of a max energy thing. I don't know. My brain started down the road and then veered off violently. But thank you very much for joining me, guys. This is the first such recap of the new year of 2024. First session of the year was a couple of days ago. If you haven't seen the omnibuses or watched the omnibuses or listened to the omnibuses, I recommend you go back and do that. Get caught up with those, because then otherwise you'll not know what's going on, because you are jumping in at session 52 of an ongoing campaign. This session was definitely more of a roleplay based thing, quite heavy in the roleplay, but still very much enjoyable. Party enjoyed it quite a bit. And we kind of picked up the morning after a big old celebration where the party had emerged triumphant against the ancient red Dracolich Ardiat. So they picked up the morning after the night before. And we started off with our monk, Ariadne, who woke up back in her childhood bedroom at mom and dad's house. At this point, everyone woke up around noon because they didn't go to bed until like 3-4 in the morning, because that's what you do when you're partying. But yeah, so she kind of woke up at her parents' house, had a bit of a heart-to-heart with her mother because Ariadne has been on. Thank you, Buzz. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but if it did, that's my dog snoring in the background. Yes. I had a bit of a heart-to-heart with her mother because Ariadne has she was raised to be quite spiritual and generally non-combative. However, life finds a way to mess with those such of things. So she has kind of veered away from the path that she was kind of set on by her mother. And she's kind of had a bit of a come to Jesus moment with that. Just spoken with her mother, going, yeah, things have happened. I've been having to be a lot more violent and I shouldn't be, and everything else. But her mother kind of spoke with her, and while concerned and worried for her daughter, kind of says to her, listen, it's not your place. Just do what you need to do to get by. You're on the right. Just keep doing. You're doing well. I'm so proud of you, and let me be the one who worries. Now, before I go any further, I got scolded by my party members. In the omnibus, I failed to mention that Ariadne's mother and father, the inspiration behind them, is the Shell, I think her name is, from the Road to El Dorado, the Disney Pixar film. The one that's kind of the female, the woman in that, the female in that film who's like is body with the two gods in quotes. That's what the mum looks like, and the dad is based on Thorin Bradley, the lumberjack guy from TikTok. And also, Ariadne's parents, Ariadne is the first of 17 children. So, canonically, her parents fuck. And I've been scolded by my parents, my party. I've been told off by my party because I failed to mention that. So, yeah, hopefully you guys fancy that. And hopefully you guys, that does amend that her parents fuck. I also got a soundboard. So yeah, that featured heavily. Not that particular, but the soundboard featured played quite a bit into the session as well, with the chaotic nature of it. So, that ended Ariadne's kicking off the year. Then went to Bart, who woke up in his own his version of the Magnificent Manor. Bart's Beautiful Abode, I think it was. I've probably forgot the name of it already. I apologize for that. I should have had my notes open. But yeah, he basically, because the party leveled up, they reached level 15. He's Bard 12, Warlock 3, I believe. And yeah, he got the spell, so picked that, and his version of leveling up was he cast it while he was drunk, basically. That was kind of then ended up when the party reconvened. He did a full tour of it all and showed everyone their rooms, and kind of had a bit of a, oh god, what's all this stuff going on? and then met up with Ariadne, and the two of them proceeded to have a bit of an interior decorating kerfuffle. We then jump over to Bjorn, who woke up in the house, in Aurora's house. Aurora being the owner of the sort of the crystal shop and magical item shop in the town. Him and Bjorn and Aurora spent the night together. Bjorn woke up, was given coffee and breakfast. The two of them spent a while talking before they were interrupted by Aurora's employee coming to tell Aurora that the shop looked to have been broken into. So they all left, and Bjorn was left by himself. And while he was by himself, his visage, his face changed, and the draconic soul that he has been bonded with kind of manifested itself and began to speak, which really, really freaked Bjorn out, understandably so. And took some persuading, some gentle coercing, but the dragon soul of Ziggurat that is bound to Bjorn now, after the slaying of Ursul. For the thing behind this, go read Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, A Death of a Dragon. That's kind of what I'm basing the mechanics off. Only homebrewing them. So yeah, that happened. And eventually kind of spoke with Bjorn, and the two of them kind of came to sort of an understanding and agreement that, you know, this dragon could be called upon to physically manifest and help Bjorn with his draconic form, or it could be called upon at any time for advice. We then jump over to Duchess, who Duchess and Dinesco had at one point in the night decided that they really wanted to go into the baths. So they left Zephyr and trotted up to the steam pit baths. Only along the way, Duchess succumbed to the her indulgences of the night, and passed out underneath a tree. She woke up, completed the journey to the baths, and had a nice morning. The rest of her kind of sit down, take the edge off the hangover in the steam pit baths with a number of the other townsfolk. While she was there, she did inquire as to the whereabouts of any other party members. One of the staff members, Haley, advised Duchess that her friend Dinesco had just been there and had left about a half hour ago. But Duchess said, well, he's safe. Yeah, he headed off with him. Like, he's probably all right then. And she then went under the bath, enjoyed a mimosa with one of the townsfolk, and just sat and enjoyed herself before heading on. Dinesco, as I mentioned, he actually did make it to the steam pit baths and passed out drunk while bathing. Woke up, gathered his things, made his way to the baths, and while he was leaving was met by Umnak, the head of village security, kind of the Goliath monk who joined them in the fight against Ardiat. During that, I had a conversation. How's your head? Umnak then offered Dinesco a wineskin and asked the blood hunter to take a walk. So the two took a walk through the woods, where Umnak divulged that he had grown up on Tales of the First Watch being like a sort of a boogeyman, and recounted that. And then said he'd read into the First Watch as an adult in the last few days, after everything that's gone on, and just kind of admitted that he was quite a fan of Dinesco and the First Watch. And then through the process of kind of opening up and sharing information, Dinesco then kind of sat down, told them a whole bunch of stories of the First Watch, including one where I can't remember which member of the First Watch it was, but one of them ripped one demon's head off and beat another demon to death with it. And then another one took a demon, skinned it, and made demon skin boots that were impervious to lava, which caused a whole sort of ethical debate among the other members of the First Watch, and other such stories. Might have been Hecate's, I don't remember. Dinesco can shout at me in the comments. But during that, the two of them ended up on a cliff overlooking the village. That sat down, was offered out a meat pie type thing for breakfast. The two of them sat down and shared a few more stories and laughs. And then Umnak revealed that he had left, and one memory that sticks in his head from his past was when the cult of Asmodeus arrived and burned out his Goliath tribe, which caused Dinesco to stutter and sputter a wee bit, just as the paralytic poison that was in the wineskin took effect and caused the Blood Hunter to seize up in place. Umnak then threatened Dinesco and says if he ever showed his face again in the village, he would rip his throat out, and that if any of the rest of the party or Ariadne came back and had been corrupted by him, he would kill them. He would kill him. Dinesco tried to use a part of his Blood Hunter ability to try and put a blood curse upon Umnak, but failed. And Umnak left with one final threat, and after almost choking the Blood Hunter, which is not a euphemism. Oh god, I would apologize, but I'm not sorry. So Dinesco was left there for another 10 minutes or so before the paralytic poison wore off, and he was able to regain control of himself and make his way back to the village. At which point, he caught up with Duchess, and the two of them had a conversation and made their way back into the town square. And then we jump over to Sir Lo, who, after the heavy drinking, had fallen asleep within the long hall, the central building of the town. Had woken up in the long hall while the perpetual stew was being worked on. Lo was kind of good with a thing where he's pretty disgusted by the perpetual stew, made his feelings known to the chefs, who seemed to take great offense to that. But he managed to go off, find some breads and meats, etc. for breakfast, and sat down and befriended a merchant from the Salazar dynasty, specifically from Tequila Bay, by the name of Javier. The two of them spoke, bonded over their mutual distaste for the perpetual stew, which Google perpetual stew and you'll kind of get where that comes from. The two of them had a chat over that, and the merchant, after finishing his breakfast, asked if the party were ever going to be, if the party ever found themselves in Tequila Bay, they should head to a place called Rush's Tavern, after hearing that Lo was a bard, like an entertainer. So you should definitely go off and go on ahead to this tavern. It's quite a place for entertainers. You might enjoy yourselves. And after that, Lo left the tavern, left the long hall, and the party all met up in the town square. At which point, the Baron gave the party a tour of his beautiful abode. Showed them around Lo Key's room, which has a bed made out of spider silk. And there is a statue to Elistray, kind of for his temple in Prain. Dinesco's room has a forge and a bed and all sorts of things for his crafting of magical items. Duchess's room is very well appointed, and on the wall there is a mural of the Sertan family crest, which is a large golden S with 3 diamonds, one at the top, one at the bottom, and one in the middle of the S, set onto a pale blue background, like an oval shape, with the Elvish motto, "Ours is to serve." Next to that, we have Bjorn's room. Again, it's Bjorn, as Lo Key's room as well. Like Bjorn's, has a part of his chambers. One of them is a room with like practice dummies for the people can practice their martial drills. So Bjorn has all of that set up, kind of similar to Lo. I think there are also like prayer stations and what have you, and the bed, obviously. And then there is a mural in Bjorn's room that says, "You are more than a scar. You are more than the scars that made you or that you bear." Because Bjorn has been on a hell of an emotional journey the last couple of days. Yeah, it's been days since that happened in game. Whew, that man's been on a roller coaster ride.
Emotional damage.
Once again, I am not sorry. And then Ariadne's room has like a nice big, comfy bed. There's a room with like ropes and all sorts of stuff for her gymnastics and what have you. And then Baron's room is pretty sparse in compared to the rest. There's a bed. There's like comfy bits and pieces. And there's also a whole bunch of like bookshelves, which kind of are representative of Baron's quest for knowledge. And after all that tour, they then headed down to the kitchens. Had a tour of all of that, where they see all of the servants kind of milling around, being very busy. And they kind of at one point realize that when they're down and speaking to the servants, speaking with the servants is a bit strange because when they in the kitchen for some reason when they spoke to one servant, all the servants seemed to speak together at the same time and created this weird hive mind effect that the party really freaked out about. And I apologize in advance to anyone who's freaked out by this, but I thought this was going to be hilarious. So after that experience, the party elected that they were going to address only one individual by the name of Murphy. All of the servants in the manor, there's a number of servants in the manor, and one of them, they all kind of look like Bart, only Murphy, the kind of seems to be the first one that was created, is the most closely resembling Bart and also is a weird purplish color, who's the kind of closest resemblance to the creator. But the party then sat down, had a bit of a lunch together, and kind of talked about what their next steps were going to be and what to do and where to go. But the planning session kind of quickly devolved into a sort of like a therapy session where Bart kind of realized just how fucked up the rest of the Scallybags are. Because they've been together for 3 months, and in those 3 months, they fought dragons, sea serpents, liches. 2 party members have died, or 3 party members have died. 1 permanently, 2 have been revived. They've gone through countless battles. They've fought goblins, trolls, giants, befriended a lot of people, fought sea serpents. They've fought angels. They've had all sorts of mad experiences in the last 3 months. Bart's only been there for the last couple of weeks of it all. But the rest of the party is like, yeah, we're fine. It's fine. Don't worry. And Bart kind of started floating the idea of a holiday and some downtime at the party. What do you mean we have holidays? We have holidays. That's the time where you travel from one city to the next before you start killing things. It's the time between you kill one thing and you kill the next thing. That's holidays. And Bart rolled a very high intimidation check and basically said to the party that for the love of the gods, I will take all of you on holidays and you will all relax and you will all enjoy yourself. We need to sit down and relax. Oh, that's legitimately what I played when he was doing his little speech. Yeah. Kind of had a bit of a role play moment and the party all kind of bonded. Oh, and before I forget, the first bunch of rolls that the party had of the entire year were 3 natural fucking 1s. Which is a hell of a way to start any game, never mind the first session of the year. Nat 1 for Ariadne's con save when her mother made her the sort of anti-sickness tea. And Ariadne and Bart was being a wee bit shady when he was given the initial tour to Ariadne. Because Bart has a sort of a hidden room, has a sort of another door in his room that kind of leads to secrets. And yeah, Ariadne rolled a nat 1 on insight and Bart rolled a nat 1 on deception. So it's 3 nat 1s. Oh, yeah, that's a hell of a way to start the year. But that is the recap of session 52 for Legend of Kelamentura. I've made my addendums. I think I've got all the major bits and pieces. And yeah, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks for the next recap. Thank you so much for watching, Adventurers. Hope you all have a great 2024. Hope your holidays were good. And I will catch you all next time. Have a good one.